Hi, my name is Megan Nelson, and today I will be presenting my capstone project titled Supporting Learner Engagement in Math Through Universal Design for Learning Framework. My research was focused on developing a professional development program that would help elementary teachers teaching K through 5 as well as relevant support staff such as instructional coaching and admin in better implementing universal design for learning and math instruction to help improve student engagement. My capstone research focuses on how integrating UDL into the elementary math classroom can improve student engagement and outcomes. It's important that our students have access to grade level content, and the use of UDL strategies benefits both teachers and students by providing them with a framework that would anticipate learner barriers before lessons even start. Students in our math classroom struggle for lots of reasons, whether it's math anxiety, lack of confidence in their skills, or having a harder time focusing for various reasons. Using UDL as a tool pairs with the curriculum that we already use in our math classrooms to support our math instruction through multiple means of representation, engagement, and expression for our students. It proactively removes barriers to learning and provides them with multiple ways to engage and show their thinking with our content. The problem statement that guided my research is that elementary age students are demonstrating low engagement in classroom math instruction. Low engagement limits the ability to develop understanding and meet grade level expectations. When students are not engaged in the math classroom, they are less likely to participate in class, develop a conceptual understanding, persevere when the math content gets really challenging, or retain new math concepts that'll be important for them to know as they continue through their education. Many classrooms currently include students with wide ranges of learning needs. Traditional approaches to math instructions do not often meet the needs of these diverse learners in our classrooms. UDL provides flexibility and creates supports for every learner. The research question that guided my project was how can a professional development be developed to address teachers' lack of understanding and implementing universal design for learning strategies to help improve student engagement and understanding in math instruction. The question helped me identify what I needed to survey teachers on to understand their current understandings and struggles with UDL and the engagement in their classroom. It helped guide me in the creation of a professional development program that would help teachers when implementing UDL successfully into their classroom. The product that I created based on my research is a professional development program. This product was created to last 6 hours and support teachers teaching in the elementary school setting, kindergarten through 5th grade, as well as instructional coaches and relevant admin who help support both curriculum and engagement in students. The professional development would include an overview of the principles of universal design for learning, so teachers can understand and build a stronger understanding of what UDL looks like and what it is. It would help increase teacher confidence when implementing UDL by providing examples and demonstrations of the strategies that could be used in their math lessons as they stand. Participants would also be given the chance to collaborate and design UDL lessons during the professional development, as well as receiving multiple online resources to help implement UDL in their own lessons, and a lesson planning template that would give them the ability to make sure their lessons are following the UDL framework. They also can explore examples of effective instructional practices. The program would also recommend supporting teachers through instructional coaching and professional learning communities, as well as collaboration with one another, in order to continue supporting teachers as they are implementing the strategies they have learned into their own classrooms. The methodology I used for this project was a mixed methods design to collect and analyze the data from the participants from the survey I sent out. To collect quantitative data, I used a Likert scale survey, and to collect qualitative data, I sent out a short answer survey. Both of these were sent through Google Forms and an email link. The data helped me identify trends and draw conclusions of what teachers knew and what they were showing that they needed. Using this data, I created a professional development program that met the needs of the teachers that I surveyed. Combining both the quantitative and qualitative data helped me get a complete understanding of teachers' experiences, confidence, and the needs they had when creating a professional development. Teachers were also informed of how the data would be kept confidential and secure so no one but me as the researcher would have access to it. For the data collection and analysis technique, I used descriptive analysis to examine the data that I collected from both surveys. Using descriptive analysis, I found that there were averages and frequencies and percentages that could identify trends through the quantitative data. It allowed me to take the survey results and summarize them into common themes. For the qualitative responses I received, I looked for recurring themes that teachers identified and common concerns that they had listed in their responses. Using both types of data, it allowed me to identify a better comprehensive view of teachers' current understandings of UDL and what challenges they are facing and the type of professional development that they felt would provide them with the most support. The next couple slides are the graphs from my Google Forms surveys. The slides display the survey results collected during the study. The data showed that teachers understand the foundational principles of universal design for learning, but they are less confident when applying these principles consistently in their math instruction time. Many teachers reported that they are using engagement strategies such as hands-on manipulatives, collaborative learning such as turn-in talks with students, movement breaks and movement activities, as well as technology integrated into their math lessons. Responses, however, also indicated that there were challenges sustaining student engagement, supporting students when they are trying to create productive struggle, addressing anxieties in math, and balancing the current curriculum pacing with using differentiated instruction, or UDL. The findings helped identify the areas that really should be emphasized to help support teachers when creating a professional development program. The first question I asked was understanding the basic principles of UDL. 50% of respondents said that they either agree or strongly agree. However, when I asked, I can apply UDL in math instruction, I had 50% of my respondents say they disagree, showing a gap between the two. My next question asked I use multiple ways for students to engage in math learning, and a lot of teachers said they were already using different ways for students to engage. However, there is a large portion that are saying neutral. I provide multiple ways for students to show their understanding in math. This one has a large chunk of neutral, meaning that they either are unsure if they currently are or are not as confident. My students are engaged in my math instruction. I had a high number say agree, but also another say neutral, meaning less confidence in their answers. However, most teachers did believe their instructional practices impact student engagement in math. Most teachers said they agree that they need additional training, or neutral, meaning that they might be less sure of it but aren't disagreeing. And I would benefit from seeing examples of UDL. This was overwhelmingly yes, people would benefit from seeing examples in action. The results suggest that teachers recognize that there is value in universal design for learning, and they believe that student engagement is important, but there still needs to be better supports in implementing it in their math instruction. There was a large response from teachers on the engagement strategies they are currently using. However, teachers are still struggling to sustain the student engagement, support struggle, and help students overcome their math anxieties. The findings support the need for a targeted professional development that will provide practical classroom examples, opportunities for teachers to collaborate, opportunities for them to see strategies and lessons modeled, and having ongoing coaching conversations. The project demonstrates that strengthening teacher knowledge of UDL does have the potential to improve student engagement in our math instruction. A strength of the mixed methods approach I used was it enabled me to have a comprehensive understanding of teacher perception and their needs. It also allowed me to gain insight into teacher experiences and the challenges they face in their classrooms currently. I was also able to hear directly through the short answer responses directly what teachers would like in a professional development. A weakness, however, is it was a small sample size of only 12 participants, which limits the generalizability of the results across settings and schools. I also relied on self-reported data from teachers, which may introduce bias and differences in how they respond due to the interpretation of questions. Some influential factors that were noted were teachers had varying levels of knowledge and experience in using UDL, which may have influenced how participants responded about their confidence. In the district that I surveyed the teachers where they worked, they just had adopted a new math curriculum over the past year, and it showed up in the survey where teachers noted they had difficulty with pacing, using the curriculum to fidelity, and adapting to the new materials that might have impacted their ability to use new strategies. I also saw student-related factors influence how teachers responded. They had different levels of engagement and how challenging classes might have been or behaviors they were seeing, which influenced their perception of engagement in their own classrooms. For further investigation, one area that could be looked at was the relationship between professional development that includes coaching, observation afterwards, and the use of PLCs, and how this long-term classroom implementation of UDL strategies worked and what it looked like. Another area that could be researched is the effect of UDL over time on student engagement in the classroom and the achievement outcomes they have. This would go beyond just having teacher perception and could collect student data. And a third area that could be researched is how collaboration between teachers and instructional coaches would influence the consistency of UDL implementation throughout a school and throughout a classroom. Thank you for taking the time to review my capstone project. The research that I did reinforced the importance of supporting teachers through meaningful professional development that's focused on universal design for learning.